All right. So here we are beginning this whole new year, the year 2020, spiritual vision. And the way that we're going to play out this year, as you know, that I use the Science of Mind magazine, our monthly publication, to draw upon the daily guide for my word of the day. And the guide for today is the Unsquandered Self. And this was written, the daily guides for this month are written by Margaret Stortz, Reverend Dr. Margaret Stortz, who's an icon in our movement. She has been around, well, let's just say forever. And she's got a really wry sense of humor about her. If you've ever had the opportunity to have spent time with her or read one of her books, I think you would understand the sense that she goes into. But the daily guides, as I said, are the way in which I'm going to be using my talk and my themes. And we're also beginning this year with a 2020 spiritual journal, which is put out by Home Office, and it gives us an opportunity to kind of go along together in looking at our theme and our message and our topics of what we want to cover each week. And as we typically do in Science of Mind churches in our centers, is we begin the new year, as we say, going back to basics. And so I I wrote down the talk title as Back to Basics, the Unsquandered Self. And want to look to see about how we can play upon this idea of just having that freedom to like squander our life in the way in which we bring about this spiritual presence. And as I was driving over this morning from Palm Springs, for those of you that don't know, I live in the Palm Springs area, but I'm driving over and I felt like there was a rush of green. There's like a squandering of green that's spread across the desert and over the mountains. And when I came down into the valley here, there was a lot of greenery that has been, I'm sure, from all of the rain and the snow and that we've had over the last month or so, and it just brings a sense of freshness and newness. And I thought this is perfect to begin the new year, that everything is really plush and plentiful. And I think that it's a way in which we can step out as we step into this new year, understanding that there is an abundance that is available to us. When Ernest Holmes, our founder, began to bring forth this idea of this philosophy and this teaching, he wanted to recognize that there is an unlimited source that is available to us. And using our teaching symbol here, we've got the circle that includes everything, that represents the allness and the oneness of it. And in that, in our reading in our this morning that we began to talk about, where is the beginning of all of this? And in the beginning, you know, in the Holy Scripture it says, in the beginning was the Word, that there was what we call principle. There was an idea. And as that began to resonate upon itself, because there is nothing else other than the thing itself, then it begins to bring out and manifest all that shows up in the physical universe as we know it. And there's even that which is yet to be unknown. So out of that essence of beginning, it talks about this unlimitedness of it. And when I was reading Margaret Stortz's message in the Daily Guide today, I thought That's the unsquandered part of what we are, the ability to squander ourselves and our understanding that we have an unlimited source available to us. Does not mean that we can be irresponsible. It does not mean that we can let go of our duties and our tasks and our responsibilities. And speaking of duties and tasks and responsibilities, I want to invite you to stay with us after service today, not only for our potluck Sunday, but we also need to put away our Christmas decorations. So there's some responsibilities and some tasks that need to be taken care of here. So I invite you to join with us so we can kind of clean up the sanctuary at the end of service and open up again for the newness of this year. But if we understand in our philosophy and science of mind that there is only one life, one mind, one source, one power, and it is infinite in its possibilities, that out of itself it can create all that has been, and this idea that the universe, the physical universe as we know it, is the manifestation of that divine presence, what we may call God, we may call it spirit, we may call it the thing itself. That's what Ernest Holmes begins with as he's writing the textbook that we use. Just call it the thing itself. That it's there, it's the life source. It is all that is behind our motivation. It is that power that's behind our life. It's the power that is behind everything that we think, everything that we say, and everything that we do. So there's where we come out in this idea when we speak about that there is only one life and it is unlimited, and that we have the power and the resources available to us in order to create whatever joy, whatever happiness, whatever abundance, whatever balance, whatever health or prosperity that we would like to bring and manifest into our life. And yet, in order to do that, we have to understand it. We have to understand this power. We have to understand what is behind us. We have to understand what is available to us, and it is this idea that it is the one mind that is available there for each and every one of us. We know that just in our physical moving through life and our experience, that the thoughts that we carry often show up in the way in which our life experiences and expresses itself. That if you're walking around, and I spoke about this a couple of weeks ago in my talk, if you're walking around and you're saying to yourself, I'm not doing enough. I'm not enough. I don't have enough education. I don't have enough money. I don't have enough time. I don't have whatever that is that you're putting out there. The universe, in its unique and most marvelous way, always responds with a yes. So if your statement is, I'm not good enough, I'm not strong enough, I'm not powerful enough, then the universe says, yes, and I'm going to show you just how much that is. And so it gives you more of whatever it is that you're thinking. So we say in our philosophy that, what you are thinking is what creates your life. So we want to spend some time in our daily practice to reflect upon and consider what's going on in our mind. What are the thought patterns that we are running through in order to correct our path, in order to redirect us back into that way that is creative and life-affirming? We know that in our philosophy that we believe that there is this power, that there is this source that is available to us. And what is that? What is that power? What does it give to us in our life? And Ernest Holmes says, as the reading from Sonia this morning, it's about the love and the law. It's about love is all that there is. That there can only be an infinite and absolute divine presence that is creating out of itself. So everything that is manifest in the universe comes from that one place. So it must be love, and it must be creative. That is the power of this divine source, is that it is creative. It is forever creating. There is forever a new sense of being coming forth. There is a new idea coming forth. There is a new year coming forth. There is a new day that is coming forth. There is a new thought in your life that is coming forth. And if you're basing that upon this idea of divine love, then everything that comes out of that is going to be good in its right and perfect way. To the level at which you understand it is the way in which it's going to develop and express and experience itself through you. In my work that I do throughout the week, I work with hospice. And so I'm working with families and individuals that are going through this experience of the end-of-life transition. And people will often, when they get to that point, and sometimes, they've had no religious background, no faith tradition, or if they did, they've left it until now. And now they're in this place of, well, what if there is something after death? What if there is a life hereafter? What if I haven't done the practice that I'm supposed to be? Where am I going to go? These are the kinds of questions that they're asking. And so we're redirecting their thought pattern as to the possibilities of what might be there. Well, what if it is eternal? What if it is abundant? What if it is balanced? And as they begin to change their mind thinking, they begin to relax into this process, and everything appears to be moving in a more gentle and more loving way, because they're coming back to that place of understanding about love. What if today we decide we want to step out into this greater sense of joy and freedom? What if we want to use the power of our mind to create something that is even greater than we've experienced in the previous year? The law that we talk about, the universal law, that law that always says yes, that law that always comes out of love, is waiting upon your request. It's waiting upon your motivating or inspiring it to come forth into your life expression, into your experience. One of the reasons that I gave us this prayer for the candle, the light of faith, and offered you this light, is to symbolize this possibility that you have available to you, if you choose, to step into this new year and to understand that there is something there that is working with you, through you, as you, is you, that thing that I call God, that wants to have its greatest expression in the way that it shows up in your personality. That divine presence, that thing itself, that universal love, is coming forth in that unlimited way, and we know that it is unlimited. When you look out into the world and you see there's like over 7 billion different expressions of it, wanting to have an experience, wanting to have some sense of joy and happiness, it's coming through as you. And the only thing that's limiting it is the way in which you think upon it. So if you begin to do your spiritual practice, if you want to carry this light with you in each and every day, if you want to use this affirmation or any affirmation that is affirming life, that is affirming that there is an abundance, that there is a balance, that there is a joy, there is a freedom, there is wisdom, there is harmony, there is truth, there is love that is present in each and every one of us. If we can see beyond our limitations, if we can see beyond any thought that we have given that says that there's not enough, if we can see beyond any idea that we don't have the resources available, we will recognize that there is a divine presence there, and it is offering itself in order for us to use that, to bring that power forth, to bring forth a greater experience of joy and love and harmony. It's right there. It's waiting for you. All that's required is that you need to just ask of it, and then you need to trust in it, and then you need to take the action of putting one step in front of the other in order to bring that forth. Love and freedom is the power that is presented through this idea of the universal self. Love being that it is creative, that we are here as beings of creativity, that through our mind, through our thought, through our word, that we are bringing forth an action, we are bringing forth a form, and that we are the ones responsible for it. If we want to have something greater in our life, then we are the ones that are responsible for bringing that forth. And that this divine creative power has given us the freedom. It has set us free in order to make our own choices. So choose wisely in the thoughts that you are thinking, and the words that you are expressing, and the action that you are taking. The quote that is on the top of that prayer that says that it is better to light the candle than to curse the darkness. How often are we going along, and in our own mind, we're seeing things as darkness. We're seeing things as, when we get on the freeway, and have you ever had this experience where you're the passenger in the car, the driver of the car is going along and everything is darkness? It's like there are too many slow people in the fast lane, there are too many fast people in the slow lane, there are too many people not using their turn signals, or they're not moving in the way that the driver wants, and the driver, this is my experience, the driver is like screaming at them, yelling at them, They don't hear it. You as the passenger hear it. You're the one that, that's getting all of the cursing that's going on, and nothing out there is changing. It's better to light the candle than to continue in the cursing. That's not changing anything out there, because everything's happening in here. Everything we are responsible for is happening in here. It's happening within our heart and our mind and our thoughts and our actions. The third point that I want to give today is about this idea of consciousness, and I've been speaking about that. Consciousness is in everyone. Consciousness is in every community. Consciousness is in every country. Consciousness is in every corporation. Consciousness is the thoughts and the ideas that we are putting out there individually and collectively. And every thought and idea that we put out there in consciousness, whether we do it individually or we do it collectively, is creating some form. It is creating some action. It is creating something that's showing up and manifesting in life. And that is the way in which it all works. That's the way in which this entire universe works. It was created out of a thought, out of a word being spoken. And that is everything in life is being created out there. Everything that we are seeing in our manifest world is a reaction to thoughts and words and actions that we have taken. So if we want to enter into 2020, if we want to begin this spiritual journey of going into a greater vision, then we need to step out with a greater thought, a greater word, and a greater action. Bring forth the light into your life and into your world. I would like to give you an affirmation. And if you need, I can provide this for you afterwards. You want to write it down. But this affirmation that we can take into our new year there is one life, and everything that has been created or ever will be created is manifest from that one. There is one life, and everything that has ever been created or ever will be created is manifest from that one. There is only one life, God's life. It's a perfect life, and it is your life now. Take that with you into this new year, into this new vision, 2020, spiritual vision. And we will create a greater beloved community. We will create a greater life for ourselves and a greater life for all that are around us. So with that prayer, with that affirmation, I celebrate this year. I honor whatever has been, and I'm eagerly anticipating how we can squander ourselves into this new and prosperous and abundant and joyous life. Namaste.